Now it's definitely snowing. Hello Matt, it's Thursday the 29th of January. Now it snowed about 6 hours ago. 7 hours ago. No, 4 hours ago. Yes, 4 hours ago. And it instantly melted. So, not that good there. I have watched Rise of the Planet of the Apes and I'm going to review it. But first, I've got to show you around my new lighting setup because I'm looking a little bit brighter, as you might have noticed. And over here we have a frickin' light that I actually got for my 14th birthday when I was really into making movies. Just stop motion movies. I actually forgot I had these until like last week, so yeah. They should hopefully brighten up the vlogs a bit, if you pardon the pun. I also covered this retro Crash Bandicoot, which I'm probably going to be displaying in all of my future vlogs. We've got that bit of housekeeping out of the way. We are going to discuss this movie. It was really good. Now, I didn't think it was going to be bad at all. It did look good. It's my kind of movie, and yeah, it is good. These scientists are trying to find out a cure for Alzheimer's, and then they test it all on apes. And then these apes developed effects that made them smarter, and one of them gains about the intelligence of an 8-year-old when he's 3, so that means magnified up to 10 years old, which he was then. He would probably been about 30. Don't know where I'm going from there. And then the ape, who is actually technically the main character because we follow him throughout most of it, gets sent to this animal control area, and then because he has increased intelligence, he basically breaks into this scientist institute, gets all of this genetic material that makes you smarter, the ape smarter, gets it to all the other apes, and then they end up invading the city. So, it's kind of a small beginning for a film called Rise of the Planet of the Apes. It should really be called Rise of the City of the Apes, in all fairness. But obviously we can see where it goes, because there's obviously Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, which I haven't got yet. The main character of this is actually Caesar, the ape who was the child of the ape they tested it on. Like these genetic improvers on, but then they obviously went down the generation. And then he was adopted by one of the workers there because okay, that's one of the few plot holes. They didn't really explain why he took him home, but either way, it's a good separate story. And we also see how Caesar copes to everything, and I like that. And in the end of the movie, you don't really know who to root for, because obviously you feel sorry for Caesar because he's been through everything that you wouldn't want an ape to be through. I mean, the RSPCA would be on this movie immediately, the way they treat the apes. Then again, you don't feel really good for him starting a war, do you? I mean, there are a few movies that do that. Even fewer that pull the trick off. And I think this is one of them. One of those movies that makes you think, who are the bad guys, who are the good guys? There's any real answer to that question. Like, you don't know who the good guys and the bad guys are, or apes. That's a good part of the movie. Another good part of the movie is the fact that it makes sense to have an invasion of apes. And where I'm going from that is, there are so many movies about zombie apocalypses now. So many. I am fortunate to have stayed away from them, but I can't promise to stay away from them forever. But from what I know, zombie apocalypse movies, how do zombies take it over the world? Like how? They're dumb, they're slow, they can't talk. Literally the only thing they have going for them is the fact they can't die. At least apes taking over planets believable because they're genetically engineered and they're also freaking got apes. They can climb, they're apes, they can climb trees, they can go over bridges and stuff, they can freaking climb. We can't do that. I mean, these hands are pretty pathetic if you think about it. Obviously the only opposable thumbs are kind of a big deal. But either way, there is an excuse to have Rise of the Planet of the Apes. I didn't even mean it. There is an excuse to have a Rise for a Planet of Apes, rather than a Rise of a Planet of Zombies, because I don't know, it's the motives of every character, apart from obviously the worker who took Caesar home. That's probably the only thing. He did want to cure his father of Alzheimer's, so he actually fed in that thing that the ape had, and it cured him for a little while, but then he suffered, he suffered it again, and I won't feel any more than that. The CGI, I know this movie came out in 2011, but I've got to say, it is okay. I would definitely not say it was the best CGI that came out that year. But I've got to say, the apes do look kind of real. Some of them do, anyway. The orangutan, I think, is probably the most fake looking out of all of them. The way they move it, you can just tell it's CGI, I mean. And that's what... I don't know, CGI is probably the worst thing about the movie, but that's a freaking great thing if the CGI is actually pretty good. So other than that, any real negatives about the movie? No, it's my kind of movie. It's got action, it's got good story, it's got a question you go ask yourself, which I love that about a movie. It's literally my type of movie. Obviously I know a few people that probably say, oh, that's just a really bad horror movie knockoff of something, and I can understand that, but from where I come from, I love Rise of the Planet of the Apes. I'm going to watch it again sometime soon, and I could gotta say, there have been very few movies where I liked it the first time I watched it. I'll say first time I watched every Star Wars movie, I was at least 1, at most 7, 6 even. So I obviously did have the same opinions. Probably the last movie I liked so much first time watching it was Back to the Future. And Back to the Future is one of my favourite movies of all time. So is Rise of the Planet of the Apes one of my favourite movies of all time? I've got to say it is. So I'm giving it a very good 10 out of 10. 2 10 out of 10s are given out, 2 9 out of 10s. Okay, I'm going to go to slightly worse movies in the next week, Matt. I have a little pattern here. Way to get from movie to movie. So, Rise of the Planet of the Apes, what's it kind of shortened because, like, Lord of the Rings is Lota and stuff. So, Rise of the Planet of the Apes, R-O-T-P-O-T-A, Rot Potter. Rot Potter. Is this movie telling me to rot Harry Potter? Have you even noticed? So next week I'm going to review the first 3 Harry Potter movies, because there are 8 to get through and I don't want to spend 8 weeks on it, so I'm only going to spend 3 weeks on Harry Potter. And I can tell you now, there will be fewer 10 out of 10s. So Matt, if you haven't seen Rise of the Planet of the Apes, see it immediately. It is amazing. And I'm going to see Dawn of the Planet of the Apes sometime soon. Probably going to get it from CEX at the weekend. Anyway, tiny little update with my life. As you remember last week, I said I could feel the first signs of a cold coming on. Well, that cold ended up developing, and on the weekend and Monday and Tuesday I felt awful. Not so bad now, but I genuinely had trouble breathing on Monday because there's so much mucus built up in my chest. So I've fully healed, which is good, and that's okay. They didn't say a conversation starter, but I'm not sure if movie reviews should count. It should only be our individual vlogs. But obviously your vlog's tomorrow, so I am permitting you to not follow on a conversation tomorrow. But ask me a question to answer on Sunday, which I'm going to be going to an event on Sunday. Ooh. Or Saturday it is actually, but Sunday it's a bit bigger. Ooh. I'll answer your question at the event. This lie is actually dangerous. I think it is. Matt, I will see you tomorrow. In real life, on YouTube, and also in vlog form.